So you found 50 years hence. Let me share you what it is and what we do here so you can make up your mind whether it is for you. The name and the whole project is inspired by Winston Churchill, who in 1932 sat down, wrote an essay called 50 Years Hence, and thinking about and imagining the world in 1982. And he came up with things like solar energy, vertical farming, and gene editing in weird ways, but he came up with them. And years later, John F. Kennedy inspired a whole nation to unleash all sorts of energy and resources for flying to the moon. And now, us, humanity, 7.5 to 8 billion people, we need to fix the situation pretty quickly. For that, we need concerted action. But we seem to be unclear of where that concerted action should lead to. Why am I saying this? Because we aren't clear on the action we have to take and what is important. And usually, when I am unclear about what action to take, it is because I don't know where I want to go. This is a little bit like trying to cook something without knowing what you want to cook. So let's find out what we want to cook. And the way we do this is by playing a very simple and fun game. You can do this with friends at home, with your team, with your family. You can do this online. You can do this quick and you can do this fast. The underlying idea is that along 6 dimensions that we came up with in order to describe the world, which is super hard and super freaky and super weird to do, by the way, especially when it's 50 years out. And do this for yourself first, and then share it with somebody. And put your ideas together and create a new way, new version of this. And then you as a team, you get together with another team and you do the same again. And then you get together with another group of 4 and you do the same again. And so on. You can continue forever, or you can just stop and be happy with the narrative that you came up with and share that with others to build upon, to discuss, and to build. So what are these dimensions? Dimension number 1 is, how do we organize supply in 50 years? On a global level, of course, also on a local level. What does supply mean, and what do we organize? It is all about sourcing, refining, and distributing stuff. At the moment, we call this economy and business, but there's no reason why it should stay that way. It can, why not? But it's all about getting stuff to wear, getting some place to live, getting food, getting all of these things for, let's say, 10 billion people in the future, in a sustainable way, of course. How do we structure society? Dimension number 2 is all about how do we govern ourselves? How do we make decisions on a local and on a global level and anything in between? How do we manage knowledge? It's all about how does knowledge come into existence? How do we create knowledge? How do we agree that something is actually knowledge? And then how do we share it with everyone? How do we give it access for everyone to that knowledge? Currently, we do that through schools and universities and publications and things like that, but who knows? Maybe we can do it in a different way. How do we relate to people? Will we have families? Will we have romantic relationships? Will we have other types of groups around us? How do we communicate? What do we use? Video, like here? Or do we have other means of communication? Or do we only communicate in the physical space? How does communication work? How does relating to people work? How do we nurture the body? How do you feed your body in the future? How do you keep your body healthy, and how do you reinstate health once it's broken down? How does that work? And last but not least, how do we mind the spirit? How do we care about whatever there is more, that we feel that there is more than the sum total of our atoms? So the process here on this platform is no process. It is helping you, it's giving you an interface to document this and share it with other people in groups or alone, and using one of the formats I just mentioned to do this, to run through the process with people. If you need help in implementing this, let us know. There's a group of people who have done this in several different ways, and we're more than happy to support you and help you in doing this with your group. Just reach out. Okay, with that, I hope you're staying and I hope you're engaging, and I look forward to being in a session with you to create our shared narrative.